So with the film, I'm speaking Fulani in it, and
Yeah.
it was cool because at the casting they were like, "Do you speak French?" So I went in originally for French.
Okay.
And then when the director found out that I could speak Fulani, he was like, "Oh,
He was like,
you should
this
do
is
this."
great.
Yeah. And then all of my scenes were with The Rock. So I'm very excited for that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Denise Rodriguez, and we're here with Mariama. Thank you so much for joining us today at the For Girls by Girls podcast. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, girl. Thank you so much. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What do you do?
So I'm Mariama. I'm a model, actress, and philanthropist. And I'm originally from Guinea, West Africa. And I moved to America when I was 10. Grew up in Atlanta, and I've been in LA for 4 years.
Wow. So wait, you lived in Atlanta from 10 till you moved to LA?
Well, okay, so I moved to Atlanta when I was 10, and
Okay.
then I started out modeling when I was 18. So I
Okay.
did freelancing in Atlanta for 2 years. And then when I got signed, I spent 6 months in South Africa. So I spent.
So you went back to.
Well, I'm from West Africa, but I went to South Africa for work.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was in Cape Town.
wow.
So I lived in Cape Town for 6 months, learned all about modeling, the industry.
Okay, wait. hold on. So you were born in Africa, West Africa. You lived until you were 10.
Yes.
How was that? How was living in Africa until you were 10?
It was interesting. It's totally different than here, but like when you grow up in a place, you kind of don't realize until you leave the difference. And when I was little, we traveled a lot. So I did like kindergarten in Canada. I did first grade in America, and then I went back to live in Africa, and then I moved here when I was in 5th grade.
Wow.
So I've been like traveling my whole life.
Yeah, you've like been moving
Yeah.
around forever. Okay, so then you did all of that till you were 10, then you moved to Atlanta, and then you started modeling at 18.
Yeah.
So how'd you get into modeling? How did that happen?
It's interesting because I got into modeling through acting. So
Okay.
I knew I wanted to act at first, and I was doing extra work. So the first thing I ever did was Hunger Games. I was behind the scenes, and I also did some of the scenes like this. I volunteered as a tribute.
I love that.
Like those. And then I met this girl, and I was telling her that I wanted to get into modeling, and she kind of told me about this website where you can like network and meet photographers. And until then, I had only shot with people at my school.
Okay.
So once I went on that website, I connected with people, and it kind of just went from there.
Wow. Okay, so then you just kind of started collaborating, and then
Yeah.
that's how you ended up in modeling.
Yeah. So
And then you got signed.
yeah, so I started collaborating and like built my book for like 2 years.
Okay.
Atlanta is a way smaller market than here, so I wanted to make sure I was one, signing to the right agency, and two, that I was ready for it. So I did freelancing, just learned about the industry, and I was also acting in school
Okay.
for 2 years, and then I got signed. And then once I got signed, that's when I went to South Africa
And you got signed with who?
with Ursula Wiedemann Models.
Okay. And then why did they take you to Africa?
Because when you're a beginner model, it's easier to start in other markets because you can build your book, you can learn about the industry. So
Okay.
South Africa was great for black girls because it's Africa, and like they have Mary Claire, Cosmopolitan, they have everything,
wow.
and it's not as competitive as to going to New York. So
Okay.
you can build tier sheets, you can meet clients before coming here.
That's so smart. Did you go by yourself? Like, did
Yeah.
you moved by yourself?
Yeah.
How was that, moving over there by yourself?
It was one of the craziest experiences I've had because I had never until then moved to a different country, and I was 19. So I
Exactly.
moved to Africa, and the first month I didn't really know anyone, and it was raining, so I was kind of like sad. But then I ended up just meeting people, and like it changed my life. Like I
Really?
love Cape Town. I was there a
Wow.
year ago. I like the food is bomb. Like the music, it's just the vibe. So I feel like going there, I learned so much about myself.
I
You know,
love that. How long did you stay over there?
6 months.
6 months. So you lived there for 6 months, and then you came to LA.
Yeah. So no,
You
I
went
went back to because I was still in school. I was
Okay.
in college.
Okay.
So when I was in South Africa, I was modeling, but I was also taking online classes.
For what? What were you studying?
I studied business management. So I have my
Okay,
bachelor's
nice.
in management and my
Nice.
minor is in marketing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you. You
Good
know,
job,
you're smart
girl.
too. You know, you can't just be cute.
I love
Run
that.
businesses.
That's awesome. I really love that.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so then you came back to Atlanta.
Yeah, and then I spent 2 months in Miami. So after Atlanta, I was like, okay, let me try it in Miami. You know, it's right there.
Super close.
So I went to so I was in Miami Beach on next to Mangoes.
Yes,
Okay.
Mangoes, the restaurants on Ocean
Yes,
Drive.
I lived right there.
Nice.
And I was there for 2 months, and then went back to Atlanta, graduated. And once I graduated, I was like, okay, I need to go to LA.
And then
I don't have any more excuses.
Yeah, you're already done. You already finished your bachelor's degree, and you're like, I'm ready. And you knew that modeling was what you wanted to do as a career.
Yeah,
you knew
modeling and acting.
You just okay. And then you decided to move here. And how old were you when you moved here?
I think I was been here for 4 years, so like 22.
So like at 22, you came. And then once you got here, you just took off?
No,
or
actually.
What happened? Yeah,
actually,
tell us.
Before I came here, so my mother agent that I signed with in Atlanta is kind of like a manager, so she pitches me to markets.
Okay.
So she connected me with my agency here, Freedom. So when I first came here, it was still challenging because I had to meet the clients. I had to kind of make a name and so for the first year I was kind of just figuring it out, and it wasn't until like end of the first year I started working consistently. So it's been a journey. And
it's a long journey.
Yeah, but it comes with it, you know? I think when a lot of people think about anything in entertainment, they think overnight success. They don't realize the amount of work that it takes and that
time,
we put in.
Patience is a virtue.
Patience, perseverance.
And okay, so I love that you just said that, and from that I'm gonna ask you, like, what do you think is the biggest challenge in this industry of modeling and like, you know, making it and everything? Because I mean, if you came to LA and look at you now, you're like striving and you're doing so good in your career. So like, what's the biggest challenge you faced?
I would say two. The first challenge is to not give up.
Okay.
Because this is an industry of no. You're gonna hear no matter what. You know?
All the time.
And it's not like you have one job and it's like, okay, I'm consistent. You're constantly meeting new clients.
Constantly evolving, I feel, constantly changing.
And so is the industry. So it's kind of like adapting and not giving up, because it goes ups and downs. You can book a huge job and like campaign and be everywhere, and then the next month not work. So you gotta like be mentally prepared for that. And the other thing would be diversity. I'm usually the only black model on set, or usually the only black person in general. So it's
in front or behind the camera.
I feel like it's important to have people of color not only in front but behind the scenes.
To represent you in every aspect.
And they can speak up on things on your behalf because they understand.
Exactly.
You know? But I see it changing. Like here at Old Poly, when I shoot for them, there's usually another black model.
Nice.
And even me and the other model has spoke about it, Sydney. And we're like, oh my God, hey sis.
Aww.
You know, it's a whole thing because like we're
that.
usually like the only ones. So I see it changing. So it's amazing.
That's
but
great.
that would be the other thing.
Yeah. Okay. And then would you like, what can you tell me is like the biggest myth you feel like people assume when it comes to like your industry of modeling?
That it's easy.
Tell them.
It is not easy. Kind of just like, oh, you just take pictures, and it's like, no, you're working 12-hour days. You know, like it's a full-time job.
Heels. You have people touching you, and you're
touching
changing.
You got to be comfortable with people coming at you, touching you, and also you have to be focused. You know, because there's always so much going on set. But when it's time to shoot, or if you're acting, when the director says action, you have to be mentally ready.
Amen.
You know,
I agree.
You know.
Yeah. Trust me, it's
not
easy.
And also, like, it never stops. People think, oh, you go to a job, that's it. No. With social media now, we're always working. So even if you're not on set, you're creating. You're working on your YouTube, your TikTok, your brand. Like, nowadays, you can't depend on your agency to do everything for you because the market is extremely saturated. So you kind of have to, like, take initiative in your own hand, in your own career. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that with modeling. There's just like, oh, you're pretty.
It's just a pretty face. You just stand there and take a photo.
And it's like, no, there's a lot of pretty girls. Like
exactly. There's so many beautiful women. So it's like you said, you need to stay on your A game. So I like that you just said that you have to focus on your other aspects, right? Your YouTube or your social media. What do you like? Walk us through a day of like what you do off of the modeling set. Like, what do you do?
Okay.
Like, what else do you have your hands in? Like.
A few things. I'm actually working on slowing myself down, but I feel like I always have so much going on, so I've been really working on just simplifying my life as I get older. But if I'm not modeling, I try to work out. So I've learned that.
I hate working out too, so it's not
Yeah,
only
girl. But I've learned that if I do it in the morning.
Okay.
Then
Same.
Yeah.
Because then you get your day started and you feel like, okay, I did
feel
something.
good,
I'm good.
yeah.
Same.
And like if I say I'm gonna do it in the evening,
Yeah.
it usually doesn't get done.
Because you got, I mean, for me, I got lazy. At 6 p.m., I don't want to get up and go work out. I'd rather do it at 8 because then I can just go work out and then get the rest of my day
You feel
done.
good.
You
know?
feel good.
It's just like,
So you work out and you try. Or what else do you
I
do?
work out. I usually have about 4 to 5 auditions a week, so I do a
Okay.
lot of reading. So if I'm not working, I'm usually reading a script or like just listening to a podcast, something that works with the script I'm reading. And I'm also working on one of my nonprofit called Nene. So I've been doing a lot of just research on that because I'm trying to just change the stigma back home in my home country.
Wow. Tell me more. So what is it that you're trying to do?
Arranged marriage and forced marriage is still a thing there.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's a thing that we don't really talk about. It's taboo to talk about. So what I'm really trying to do is just change that narrative and just build like a resource system and support system for young women. You can go to our Instagram. The Instagram is nana.org, and I'm also working on going on live more. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see we're going on live like once a month. And what I do, I have like 5 to 6 people who are sharing their experiences.
Nice.
So last week I went on live and I had a young lady share a poem that she wrote. And she's only 17 and she's going through it, you know?
That's amazing.
So it's been very inspiring even for me, seeing people speak up and like just share their stories for it. So nana.org and also Mariama Diallo _ on Instagram.
I love that. Thank you for that.
You know, put on plug.
You gotta put a flag. And so, like, okay, when it comes to like social media, I know that obviously you have your career as a model, but that side of your career aspect, like, how is that? How do you run your social media? What do you pay attention to? Like, how can they benefit from creating for themselves a career out of social media, because we've done that for ourselves. So what advice would you give them?
The biggest advice I would say with social media is to remain authentic. I feel like we see a lot of the same pictures. There's kind of like a social media recipe that I've seen.
I agree.
You know? But I've learned that just staying authentic to who you are and what you do and just sharing that part of you in the long run is what's gonna just make you stand out. Because if you're just scrolling, you just see a whole bunch of people, but that one person that's doing something different. Like if you paint, show that you're painting. If you cook, show that. Or if you're funny, your personality. Just like those small little things that makes you you, it's what's gonna stand out.
I love that.
You know?
I agree. And so how do you deal with like the haters? Because I know that
I'm not letting no
Social
one mess
media
up my
brings out-
energy, girl. I am friends with the block button. We are best friends.
so you just
But-
block them. You don't pay attention.
Yeah, but I'm very lucky because I don't really get that much hate
That's awesome.
on my
That's good.
Instagram. I probably get like one every few months, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't really like. I think early on I did a lot, especially from like people that I knew from back home. You know, when you get them started, they're like, "Oh, who does she think she is?"
They think that you're changing. They don't really recognize the world because you know they're not in it, so they feel like it's foreign to them. So they get scared. I think that the way that I took it was that it's scary. It's scary to see someone you love, you know, dive into this new life that you have no knowledge of, and you get scared. So you sometimes retaliate in a negative way. But I think that, like you say, you just don't pay attention to it.
Yeah, and people come back around. The people
They
that
do.
care about
They
you
do.
always come back around. And once they see, like, actions speak louder than words, you know? So once they see you putting in the work and they see how passionate you are, they usually come back around.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Because it's all love in the end. If it's coming
Yeah.
from fear, for you to be scared of something means that you care.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly,
all
I
love.
agree. And so, outside of modeling, outside of social media, you also do the acting, you do like the fashion, and you do the beauty. So, like, what's the difference between like the beauty side of the modeling and the fashion side of modeling? Because you do both. So, like, what's the difference you could feel, you could express?
Well, okay, so every job is different. So
Okay.
even if I'm working with the same client, it's a different job because there's so many different factors. Like who's on set that day? What are we shooting? Like if we're shooting swim versus if I'm shooting something like this that's cozy, it's a totally different day, you know? And let's say like beauty. Most models love beauty because
Really?
you're usually sitting and they only see this. So you
Okay.
usually have on sweats.
Okay.
You know, like you're in sweats. They see
Yeah.
like this makeup, but you're so comfortable.
Yeah.
Like I love beauty jobs because
Okay.
it's like you just gotta show up.
Yeah, you just gotta show up and give your face.
Just
Use
like-
me.
But with like, if you're doing something high fashion, like if you're shooting for a magazine, for example.
You shot for
moving.
Vogue.
I've worked with Vogue magazine.
You worked with
and
Vogue
I just
magazine.
recently shot for
Congratulations
Wonderland.
on that. Oh my
Thank
God,
you.
that's amazing.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
It's a Normani cover. We have 10 pages, so check it out.
So how was that? How is that type of modeling and the fashion side?
That was, so when it comes to magazines, it's very interesting because you never know what you're gonna get.
Okay.
So for Wonderland, we shot at Mel's Diner,
Oh wow.
and it was open.
Stop.
Yeah, it was open while we were shooting, and girl, they had me like, cause it was a Pepsi D Square collab. So
Okay.
I was in like short shorts and stuff on top of the table with a fan, like doing all the
Doing
extra.
the most.
And then
I love
there,
it,
we
though.
had like Mrs. Becky like eating her lunch, like 70 years old, looking at me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That must have been
It
an
was-
amazing day for whoever was in that restaurant.
Whoever,
eating
oh
that day.
yeah, oh
They
my-
were livid.
They were like, what is going on?
That's awesome.
But you just kind of gotta go with the flow, you know.
Okay.
Like with high fashion, you're moving a lot. There's a lot going on. Versus like if you're shooting like a lookbook or beauty, it's more of a controlled
or like editorial
environment.
or lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's like more like
Yeah. So it's just like, am I gonna be in a controlled environment or is it gonna just whatever happens happens?
Okay.
So you got to be able to adapt, and
Okay.
that's the main difference is that you don't really know what's gonna happen, but it's all fun.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
all fun.
Like if you're doing something you love, then it's like
you
okay.
feel good doing it. And what would you say is like like the most difficult in both industries of like the beauty and like the modeling or the acting? Like what's like what have you found doing both? That's
Well, so there's two things. One, the balance. Balancing between both is a whole different struggle because, like, if you're working every day on modeling and then you have
An
auditions
audition.
and stuff, it's just I've had to call out. Sometimes you just gotta pick and just be like, hey, I don't think I can make it today because I have this. You know, just finding balance, and I think that's when organization really, you know, comes into play. One of the most difficult things, especially with modeling, is like the high fashion jobs. You know,
Okay.
like I said, you're in an uncontrolled environment. Like
Okay.
I've had to shoot once in the desert dunes,
Okay.
and the wind was blowing extremely hard, and it was painful. It was all in my lashes. It was so bad, but you kind of still have to show up. You still got to
And
give
that
them your
face?
moves. Yeah, you have to give face. You just kind of have to show up. Or if you're shooting
is
swim,
hard.
they usually shoot swim in the wintertime.
Oh.
So you're in a bikini and you're freezing.
Girl.
You're freezing, but when they say action, you better turn it on, and then
turn
you're
it
shivering
on.
between, and it's just, you know.
When it comes to like how competitive both worlds are, how do you feel about that? How do you feel in the acting world and then in the modeling? Like, do you feel like either or is even more competitive than the other?
I think they're both extremely competitive.
They
I think
are.
anything in entertainment
Is
you know, competitive.
cutthroat.
Whether you're doing YouTube videos or if you're modeling or even if you're singing, it's
Yeah.
just like cutthroat. You just
Yeah.
gotta show up.
Yeah.
But
For you, what's like,
for me, it's been acting.
Really?
I feel like
how do you deal with that?
I just work on myself. I've been watching master classes, been working on like articulation, speech. But like with acting, there's a lot of auditions, but they kind of want you to have done a few things before they book you, and you can't really do a few things if they don't book you. You know,
I always wondered, like, how do they expect you to have experience
without
without giving you the experience?
You know?
It's like,
I feel like that's with any job. It's
Right?
like, how
Yeah.
what? It's been an interesting journey to see. With acting, you get a script. You say, you get your scenes, you get your character. You put so much more work into it. You get connected to the material.
you become the character.
Yeah, and then you go audition, and they're like, "Thank you, have a nice day." And you have to just learn to just let it go,
Yeah.
move on to the next one, and it's a whole process. And not to say that modeling doesn't have the same effects, because we all go to castings, we all hear no's, but it's just the prep is different.
Okay.
With modeling, I can go to 5 casting a day. And it's like if I don't book them, I'm like, okay, it's fine. But with acting, I'm like, I just spent 3 weeks on
Studying
this.
the script, becoming Mary.
You know, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
And I feel like they book a lot of the same people, a lot of the
Yeah.
same actors, so it's a little bit more
It's difficult. It's
hard
harder.
to get into.
Yeah.
And
Do you favorite acting or modeling?
I love them both.
You like them both?
I love them both for different reasons, but I'm very excited to get more into acting.
Okay.
You know, I feel like acting is cool because it's like there's cinematography in it, and there's different genres. Like I want to do an action movie one day. I feel like that would be so.
That would be so dope.
You know, like.
Do you feel like you'll leave modeling behind then, and then like just focus on acting? Or
I feel like they're both connected.
They are. They definitely go hand in hand, I believe. I think anything in entertainment goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
I feel like if you do anything in front of the camera in any way, it just works together.
Exactly. And who's on covers? Actors. Who's booking the biggest campaigns? Actors.
So you'll never leave modeling. You'll just do both.
Yeah, I think I'll just be doing a different type of modeling.
Okay.
You know, where it's like it'll be more like special appearances or more. Oh, it's a cover for this. It's a collaboration with this, rather than when you're modeling, it's kind of like whatever comes.
And if you had like a piece of advice for girls by girls, for anyone watching that wants to like dive into acting, dive into modeling like you have, what would you say?
I would say don't give up. That's honestly the best piece of advice I can give to anyone. Don't give up, because there's no such thing as failure if you keep going. You know, you're gonna keep hearing no's. If you know that this is something you want to do, work at it. There's so many resources. We have Google, there's YouTube. You can learn anything on YouTube, okay? Take time to really utilize these resources and just get better at your craft and keep going. If you're getting better, even the people who said no are gonna come back around.
They are.
You know, because people,
They
come
are
back
gonna
around.
come back around.
Yeah, and the price is usually up.
At that point, sorry.
But
true.
just don't give up. Continue. Don't take no for an answer, and work on yourself. Perseverance is key in this industry, and also use social media. Like,
I think that now it's not easier, but it is easier because we have everything at our hands. Like we can literally make whatever we want at our fingertips. And I think I agree with you. I think you should use social media for your advantage.
yeah, we have so much control. Like before, the agencies submit you and that's it. Now you can show your personality. Like,
And you can like talk to them directly almost.
yeah,
You know?
people reach out, DM, everything. Like I try to show my personality more and more on Instagram nowadays.
Good,
It's like,
yeah.
because I think I'm hilarious, but a lot of people
You
don't
are.
know
You're
that.
really funny. No, I think that that's like the major thing as well. I feel like for models, don't you feel like sometimes your personalities, I mean, of course, it's self-explanatory. You're just taking a photo, so sometimes people like feel like they're not human when they are, and you have this huge personality behind this beautiful face. So it's like social media gives you the opportunity to show that, and like even the philanthropy aspect of you, like I'm sure that's gonna be something amazing for everyone to find out, because it's awesome.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'm like very happy for you. I want to know though from you, what's like your biggest accomplishment? Like with everything that you do within fashion, model, acting, like what do you feel was like the one thing you did that you were like,
So one thing I'm very excited for is a film that I have coming out later this year.
ooh,
I know.
Home
It's,
film?
So it's called Jungle Cruise, and it's a Disney movie, and it's based off the Disney ride at Disneyland, and it's kind of like a Pirates of the Caribbean. But I'm speaking my native language in the film.
what's your native language?
Fulani.
Fulani.
Yeah.
Fulani. Okay, wait.
Fulani.
You're not gonna get away with speaking a whole other language and not teach me something.
Okay, so
Teach me something.
Jarama.
Jara,
Jarama.
Jagarama,
Jarama. Jarama.
Jagama,
Like R-A. Jarama.
Jagarama.
That's so cute.
Oh my god! Jagarama.
Yes.
What does that mean? What did I just say?
Hi.
Yo, it took me like 7 hours
Okay,
to
girl,
say hi.
it's okay. But it's funny because it means hi, how are you?
I love
Like, how
that.
you
That is
doing?
such an
Yeah.
exotic language. Okay,
Thank
wait.
you.
Okay, hold on. I want you guys to like hear. I want them to hear you say like a full sentence, because I feel like if that word was just hi, how are you? I can only imagine what like a full sentence sounds like. So tell them, say like, hi, my name is Mariama and I'm into philanthropy. And
Ooh, girl.
is that a lot? Is that a lot? Okay, no, never mind.
I'm like, how do you say philanthropy in my language?
Okay, no. Hey, my name is Mariama and I am here at the Old Poly Studios. Just say that.
Unjarama, yindane ko Mariama, andela wonido e opali.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I speak Fulani, French, and English.
Wow.
So I learned English when I came here because the
Okay.
country that I'm from, we speak Fulani and French. So I learned English when I was 10.
Wow. Wow, I would have never guessed that you didn't speak English as your first language.
I'm working on my accent.
So then you learned French and your language at the
Yeah,
same
growing
time?
up. So like at home we speak Fulani, and then the official language was French.
French.
So in school you speak French.
Oh my god, girl. Okay, so wait, so when you have your kids, like, are you gonna teach them both French and your English?
I don't know much about French, but I feel
I
like
think you should.
I think I will, just because it'll be easier for them to communicate with like my grandma and the people back home.
Are you fluent in French as well?
Conversationally,
bit.
because I don't really speak with anyone. But like,
Exactly.
let's say someone who speaks French comes in about half a day, it always
Pick it
comes
up.
back. Yeah.
Okay, so I would understand that aspect for your kids.
So-
That's amazing.
Thank you. So with the film, I'm speaking Fulani in it, and
Yeah.
it was cool because at the casting they were like, "Do you speak French?" So I went in originally for French,
Okay.
and then when the director found out that I could speak Fulani, he was like, "Oh,
He was like,
you should do this." Yeah. And then all of my scenes were with The Rock, so I'm very excited for that.
Oh my god,
yeah.
that's amazing.
It should be very cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was cool because I was like, "Hi."
He's super tall. How
He's
tall
so
is he?
big. He's big. But
Really?
he's so nice. He was
That's
so
awesome.
respectful. It was interesting because when you audition for things, you don't really know what's gonna come up, and like just the fact that it was a Disney film, I'm speaking my language, and so much other stuff that I can't really talk about. But it
Yeah.
was just like it made me just realize that anything can happen.
I
I
agree.
was just like
I
the whole
agree.
time on set, I'm like, whoa, I can't
That's
believe
amazing.
I'm here.
So did you film the movie here?
No, actually, I filmed it in Atlanta.
Okay.
It was cool because I was in Miami for swim week,
Okay.
and that's when I got the call. Hey, you got a call back. So I flew to Atlanta, did the second audition, which is what we call a callback. Went back, walked my shows, and then got a call that I booked it. So I went back to Atlanta, but it was so cool just being on that set. We shot it. It was like the same crew that shot Black Panther, so it was
Oh,
very cool
nice.
just seeing like
That's
just everything like
amazing.
that world, and then
That's so
came back to
awesome.
Atlanta. Came back to LA.
That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. Honestly, I think it's
you.
amazing what you've done, what you're gonna do. I just wish you the best from here on out. And thank you so much for joining us. It was so great getting to know you.
Thank you so much for having me. I love everything that you guys are doing, and with Opali giving a chance to girls to just talk and share their experiences.
Show this side, because I feel like not everyone gets to see like this side of you guys, and it's awesome.
They see like
Get to
the
know you.
IG baddie, like lashes.
Which is awesome. I think that's an awesome side, but I feel like this is like, okay, you're a real person and you're doing great things. So I think it's
Yeah.
awesome to let them know and let them get to know you a little bit more.
Thank you. Well, thank you for giving me a platform to talk and
course.
share my experience and my story.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our podcast. And yeah, we'll see you guys here next time.
Bye.
Bye guys.